When the news first hit, I think the world really struggled to process it. Diane Keaton, this image of just enduring Hollywood vitality, suddenly gone. It felt impossible, really. And it created this huge vacuum just filled with public speculation. Was she secretly battling something? What weren't we seeing? So we're here today to cut through that noise. We dove straight into the source documents, specifically the official death certificate. We wanted to find the precise, undeniable clinical facts. What did the record actually say?
And the record is, well, it's remarkably clear. That's the first crucial thing. The definitive official cause of death was primary bacterial pneumonia. And she passed away on October 11th, 2025. She was 79 in Santa Monica.
Okay, let's pause on that medical term for a second. Primary bacterial pneumonia.
Yeah.
How does hearing that specifically change the immediate assumption that she must have had some secret long-term illness?
Well, that's kind of the whole story right there. Bacterial, that tells you it's distinct from, say, viral pneumonia, which is often milder. It suggests a severe, potentially aggressive infection. But it's the word primary that really closes the loop on all that speculation. It means this infection was the starting point, the main reason, the principal cause of death. And crucially, connecting to that, the certificate listed absolutely no other significant contributing conditions.
No other conditions listed at all?
None. It wasn't secondary to cancer or heart failure or anything like that. The pneumonia itself was the sole lethal factor.
Wow. That makes the timeline, the lead up to her death, even more, well, shocking. We heard those reports, friends saying her health declined very suddenly. And that kind of rapid, aggressive illness is just hard to square with her public image, right? That strength. But we did get one sort of tangible detail from just before the illness really took hold. Her friend, Carol Bayer-Sager, saw her maybe 2 or 3 weeks before, and she mentioned Diane was very thin, had lost so much weight. Was that maybe an early symptom or something else?
That's a really interesting point. It was likely more about vulnerability than a direct symptom of the pneumonia itself. That physical frailty, maybe from the weight loss, it connects directly to the acute medical timeline we see on the certificate. It confirms she started seeing a physician for this on September 24th, 2025.
September 24th.
Yes, and her very last visit was October 9th.
Just 2 days before she passed on the 11th.
Exactly. So, in a system maybe already compromised, a bit fragile, this bacterial infection went from that first doctor's visit to, tragically, fatality in less than 3 weeks.
Less than 3 weeks. That's incredibly fast.
It is. And this raises a key point maybe for you listening. Why was this infection so aggressive for her? Well, pneumonia is actually a leading cause of death in older adults. At 79, her body's physiological reserves, its ability to fight back, were likely diminished. Her body just couldn't mount a strong enough defense against such an aggressive bug. It's a tragic, almost textbook example of geriatric vulnerability.
An acute infection overwhelming a fragile system very, very quickly. And that speed, that suddenness, it really explains the intense information management we saw from the family, doesn't it? The news broke October 11th, but then there was silence. Strict privacy. Until their formal statement on October 15th. And the death certificate details, the ones we're talking about now, they only came out the day after that, on the 16th.
Yes, and the arrangements were equally swift. Cremation was on October 14th, just 3 days after her passing. Very private.
Very private indeed.
But if you look closely at that official family statement on the 15th, it did something quite specific. It immediately shifted the focus. Away from the raw tragedy and towards her legacy, her compassion.
How so?
They specifically requested that instead of flowers, people consider donations to local food banks or animal shelters.
Causes she supported.
Exactly. Making sure her final public message reflected her values, her altruism.
So wrapping this up, what's the core takeaway here for you, the listener? It seems simple, but also surprising. Just the sheer speed and virulence of this common infection, primary bacterial pneumonia, it was enough, all on its own, to overwhelm her system at 79. And that's backed up by the official record showing no other complex factors involved.
Right. And maybe the final thought to leave you with is this. Given how quickly someone seemingly so robust, such a public figure, could succumb to a rapid infection like this, what does Diane Keaton's passing perhaps teach you about just how critical it is to recognize those atypical, maybe subtle signs of acute illness in older loved ones, especially when the reserves might be lower and truly every single hour can count against an aggressive infection?